So, good day, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to O&P Show. I am your host for today, Daniel Pasturan. I came upon this inspiring talk called Flight from Conversation by Sherry Turkle. With the help of our special guest, we will be discussing about flight from conversations, its main idea, and how does writer supports the main idea, and many more. So let's welcome the representative of Flight from Conversation, Mr. Felix B. Pespanyan, Mr. Jerwin Orozco, and Miss Joanne Piñas, and also Miss Veronica Opada. So guys, welcome to O&P Show. Thank you for being with us today. It is a pleasure to meet all of you.
A pleasure, our Mr. Pastoral.
Thank you for having us here.
Now, tell me what is the main idea of Flight from Conversation?
Darkness main point in this article is that we have lost our right to communicate and have replaced it with connectivity through text and social media. Turkey sports her main point with countless example through this article.
So how does the writer supports the main idea? Enumerate the example provided.
I think by her experiences in her life, like she talks about in her first TED talk with his 5-year-old daughter and that magazine titled Wired Magazine that they experimenting the chat rooms, online virtual communities. She talks about some reality in the world on how we go into our phones, like chatting the people just in front of you, and etc. That's all.
Oh, and then according to the writer, what is the difference between conversation and connections? And what does face-to-face conversation teach us and how?
Whenever you interact on Facebook, you have a connection. It is all right to say you like something on a post, but it is not the same as having conversations. It's communication without all of the deep things would happen when you're actually with someone and engage in whatever they have to say. Of course, face-to-face communication is the distinction of being able to see the other party or parties in a conversation. It allows for a better exchange of information since both speaker and listener are able to see and interpret body language and facial expressions.
And next is, what does being alone together mean?
A person has their personal space but can communicate with others without having to meet the other person.
Thank you, Miss Piñas. Can you explain to us the title? What does our flight from conversation do to us?
Sarah Turkley discusses how humans refer to connect to technology and via discussion in her article, The Flight from Conversation, she claims that actual discussion rather than new connection necessary for humans to communicate. That's all.
Mm, and how about these lines? Can you explain what is the meaning of this? We expect more from technology and less from another. And I share, therefore I am.
Um, we expect more from technology and less from one another is that technology is smart and can do things that same people don't. So because of that, we expect more than technology rather than people. And the other one is I share, therefore I am. Means that you are inventing yourself to make you that person. When in fact, it is not your true self. You hide behind a mask that makes you feel you are connected to the world. And you have a lot of friends, but in real life, you are lonely. We have fallen into the trap that always being connected is going to make us feel less alone. But that is not true. That's all.
Mm. Yeah, I see. And okay, thank you. And what does the writer suggest we can make a room for conversation?
I would I would have to agree with Sherry Turkle when she suggests that the new communication technologies are giving us the power to sacrifice conversation for mere connection because I can see it happening all around me with my peers and family members. When it comes to communicating with my friends, I find that too often we settle for either text messaging or Facebook Messenger when simply having a real conversation would make it simpler for everyone to get their points across. This idea that technology gives us a sense of connection and makes us feel like a part of a community is very prevalent in society today.
And lastly, do you agree with the writer?
Yes, I agree with the writer. I agree with her many points regarding the lack of communication in today's society. She used many real life examples to support her claim that cell phones and other technology have inhibited face to face communication. Although technology has given us many forms of communication, I feel that the most important way to communicate is by talking face to face. The one quote that stuck out to me the most in Turkle's article was, we expect more from technology and less from one another and seem increasingly drawn to technologies that provide the illusion of companionship without the demands of relationship. I think this quote perfectly describes many people in our culture, which is sad. People need to build meaningful relationships with others to succeed in life. Without these relationships, people feel lonely and seek companionship, which they find through technology, and the cycle just keeps repeating. Technology is such a great advancement in our society, but certain aspects of day to day life cannot be attained through these online techniques. I feel that face to face communication needs to be emphasized in our lives before we entirely lose the ability to speak with others in person.
Thank you, Miss Opada. Thank you also to Miss Piñas, Mr. Pespinian, and Mr. Rosco. We have learned a lot from today. Well, it's time to wrap up the show. Thank you for our lovely guests for joining us today and lending us some of their time. Remember, lack of conversations diminish the chances of learning the skills of self-reflection. So this is O and P Show. I'm your host, Clyde Darnell Pasturan. Good day, everyone. Thank you.